So Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg apparently want to get into the octagon for a UFC fight in Las Vegas for charity. Dana White, the president of UFC, says this would be the biggest pay-per-view event ever. Would you pay $100 to see them go at it in the ring?
I guess when you have more money than God, this is what you do. Like you decide you want to fight each other because you have nothing better to do. I don't know. It's weird. I think it'd be a spectacle for sure. I don't know if a ton of people would want to watch it because it's two just like, nerdy science guys fighting, but I think they both have like martial arts backgrounds and expertise and stuff. So maybe it'd be really cool. I think just the spectacle of it, people would pay. I wouldn't pay $100, but I'd go to like a bar or something that was hosting it.
Yeah, at least it would be for charity. So the money would go to somewhere good. And, for all those people who hate one or the other, which is many people out there, they get to see the other one get beat up.
Well, did you see that video of Zuckerberg in like some fight that he got like taken out or something? Everybody was like jumping on like, look at this guy, doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, I don't know if the other guy's really good or not. Like you don't know unless you're in that world. So I think it'd be interesting to see. I don't know. Who do you think would win? I'll go with Elon.
I got to go Zuckerberg. So we'll see. We put it out here on the line. We'll see who wins.
We'll make a friendly wager.
This week, Bellagio released the first part of their documentary about their fountains on Twitter, and I guess there's going to be multiple parts, and the first part was kind of cool. It's short, about 1.5 minutes long, and I see this as like their plea to the government to say, please don't make us get rid of our fountains. They talk about all their sustainability efforts with water and how, the fountains are fed by an underground spring, so it's a little different than some of the other water features we've talked about getting removed, but this seems like their plea to be like, leave our fountains alone.
Yeah, I never really realized, I never looked into it, but that comes from their own wells and, it's self-sustaining. They're not taking it from anything. So that's kind of cool, but also that water could be repurposed for something else. So you still have that conversation for sure. But I definitely don't want to see green grass there unless like, what if they brought a drone show instead of fountains? How cool would that be?
A drone show with these are the most famous fountains in the world, or at least that's what they say in the documentary. But I agree with that. They're very famous. Yeah, can you imagine just like a whole giant lawn of fake grass replacing it? No. That wouldn't be very good. But I'm all for drone shows added to that. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be something unique. And when I saw this in the show notes and said documentary, I was like, oh, cool. Sit back and watch this a bit. And then it's like 1.5 minutes. You're like, okay, so is this like a 30-minute documentary they're breaking up into like 20 episodes or?
I don't know, but we'll stay tuned, and we'll put a link to the first part, and you get to see more. It's kind of cool. You see some of the tech behind it as well, the company that designed it. And, these fountains are all over the world now. Obviously, Wynn Palace in Macau has them. There's amusement parks that have them. But this was the first real installation of that size. So it really is special in that way, and still is like so iconic from movies like Ocean's 11. And I think it's just iconic part of any person's visit to the Strip. I think everybody... That's one of the things that like you do on your first trip to Las Vegas. You have to go see those fountains.
Yeah, I love just walking by at night when they're going, and you get like a little bit of a wind breeze from them, so it cools you off. Maybe a little bit of a water hits you as well, like a mist. So it's kind of, it's always something worth doing. Even if I don't stop and watch, it's still cool. Like when you're doing something else to peek over and see it happening, or if you have a room with a view, that's always cool. So, I don't make a point to go watch them every trip, but I definitely see them every trip. So it's always something that's very Vegas for sure.
Yeah, and so many hotels have views of them. One of these days I'm going to do a video of all the different views from the hotels. I have footage. I've been meaning to do it, so hopefully I'll get to that soon, where you can see the views from all the different...
The best?
I do have the Cromwell one, yes. It's very unique because it's very much lower. Yeah, it's lower though. Yeah, you got to stand in the back of your room, so you're not really in your room seeing it, but you're like in the corner by the bathroom. But it is a cool view, so hopefully I'll get that soon. This week, Station Casinos announced a transformation. They call it an elevated transformation for Green Valley Ranch, and this seems very similar to what they did with Red Rock. We covered on the show previously, their buffet closed. It was sitting closed forever, and then they started construction, although they didn't really announce what they were doing. Although now the first part of their transformation has opened. It's a new bar called Polaris, which opened, I think, Friday, so just a couple days ago. And they're also going to add a couple restaurants from Blue Ribbon, a new sushi restaurant, a new Mediterranean restaurant, new high-limit table area with single zero roulette, and high-limit slots area. And then they're going to be redoing the pool as well, their lush backyard pool deck. They say they're going to give that a refresh. So I don't know if this is like a full property transformation, but it's a plussing, kind of like what we saw at Red Rock And that's what's coming to the old buffet area at Green Valley Ranch.
Yeah, I wonder, there's not a lot of zero single roulette wheels in Vegas, so I wonder what the table min would be. It's not on strip, so the high limit might not be as high as you would see on strip. So maybe, hoping for during the day, $25, probably a stretch, maybe more like $50. But if you play roulette, that, that edge that you get off of that single zero is probably worth going out of your way to get there. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it looks modern, it looks fresh. It looks kind of like everything else to me, but it definitely looks like a step up from what you normally see.
Yeah, there's no accident that single zero roulette is in the high limits room, right? They're going to have a higher limit. They're not going to put that out on the $5 tables if they even have. They probably don't have $5 tables anymore. But the sushi place, the Blue Ribbon Sushi, that's been at Red Rock for quite a few years now, very popular. So you're seeing them sort of mirror the Red Rock and Green Valley resorts. They've always sort of been, mirrored. They're very different in some ways, but you're seeing them kind of dig into that high-end resort feel with these. And that's good as, Durango opens, and that's going to be competition among the station casinos with the high-end stuff. So, yeah, it's good to see Green Valley Ranch, my local casino, just not far from my house, get some love. And it's always been a place I loved. It's about 20 years old now, and it still holds up really well. The hotel is great. That area and where the pool is great as it is, and now all the cabanas and everything will be refreshed. It's a really nice place. Like if you're from Las Vegas, you want to do a staycation, it's one of the places I would recommend. And if you're looking to get off the strip to have kind of a resorty type feel, with a nice casino, with some good restaurants and a really nice pool area, it makes a good stay there as well. A good alternative to somewhere like Lake Las Vegas.
What would you say, this one or M would you put above one or the other?
They're very similar. I haven't stayed at the M. I've stayed at Green Valley a couple of times. I like Green Valley Ranch. It's attached to the District, which is like an outdoor shopping mall. So in addition to what the restaurants you have in the casino, you have a bunch of shopping and everything else. The sports arena where the Silver Knights play is just, a 5-minute walk away. So there's a lot more around there, I would say.
What's that?
The Dollar Loan Center. Thanks for making me say that. I avoided it. That was a subconscious thing. I didn't even mean to avoid it, and somehow I managed not to say the name. But yeah, there's a lot more in that area. So I think if you really want to do a staycation, it's good. Of course, M Resort is nice. The rooms there look really nice, but it's just a little bit more isolated with a less around there, at least less within walking distance. I mean, you go right out of Green Valley Ranch, and like I said, you have the whole district right at its doorstep, movie theater, all of that there as well. So check it out, but just wait a couple months till they get all this stuff finished. I'll make sure I get over there and update you guys on construction. So Vital Vegas wrote about this, and Rum Bar at Mirage, they had announced like this transformation of it into a Bruno Mars venue, and then I guess they sold it to Hard Rock, and that all went away, but they built this staircase down like a private entrance for Bruno Mars before they changed, direction and everything else. I love Easter eggs like this in Las Vegas. I'll have to like maybe dig up some other Easter eggs. Like I love over on Koval, if you walk on the backside of MGM, there's some walls that have like this bronze lion in the middle of the brick wall. Those are the original walls from the MGM Grand Adventures theme park. There's just a few of them. They're behind the convention center. So stuff like that in Las Vegas, I really love. And so, next time you're in the VIP area at Rum Bar, just look at that staircase and know that Bruno Mars was supposed to, have his secret entrance there. Kind of a cool little quirk.
Yeah, it is cool. I don't know where the $250,000 went. It seemed like a pretty basic. I was expecting like a spiral staircase or something really cool, and it's just like here's a concrete staircase, up a alley or whatever. So I don't know where that number came from. It seems a bit high, but it is cool to see that like he had a way to get in out quickly, which makes a lot of sense. And they're still opening it at Bellagio? Is that where they're going to be doing it now? So I'm sure it'll be really cool. I love the name. Pinky Out or something like Pinky's Out?
Yeah, it's going into the Bellagio now. So they kept their partnership with Bruno Mars. Obviously didn't keep Mirage, but Rum Bar is such a cool place. And I haven't had the opportunity to hang out there too much, but I love the vibe there. Kind of like a tiki-ish place, and they made it an ultra lounge, so they did renovate it not too long ago. But it is a cool place, cool location near the Strip. I wonder how that's all going to change, obviously, with the transformation to Hard Rock, because it seems like that whole area is going to get redeveloped. So whatever is there, probably not going to stick around, but hopefully they get some cool venue Strip side when they do this whole renovation in 2035 or whenever they actually start construction on it.
It's always kind of crazy when you're like, you redevelop something, you put all this money into it, and then you sell, and it's like it's going to get torn down. Like it was just kind of money thrown away. I'm sure they weren't thinking like, hey, we're going to sell right away. And it just kind of happened or whatever. You know, it wasn't in the plans maybe when they launched this thing, but think of all the money they poured into it, and you're never going to recoup that. And you know, it was probably banked into the price of the purchase, and now Hard Rock is kind of like eating that because they're going to redevelop it or whatever down the line. But it's always kind of funny to think about that.
Yeah, so much money spent in Las Vegas on redeveloping venues. If you think about places like, you know, MGM Grand, because I've had such a history there, I used to work there, and just how many of some of those spots where there's restaurants are, how many times those restaurants have turned over, been redeveloped, been redecorated. I mean, so much money goes into the investment in the infrastructure, you know, on making these spaces nicer and keeping them modern and all of that. And you know, you got to have money to invest. But you know, like we said, maybe not so much on the outside of the buildings, but they keep dumping money into the inside of the buildings. So that's good, I suppose. We're finally one step closer to consumption lounges coming to Las Vegas. We talked about the first cannabis-friendly hotel in Las Vegas. And now we have 2 lounges in Clark County approved, Planet 13 and Thrive Cannabis. And these are not approved like with zoning and everything, so they still have to do all of that, but they're approved by the state to start operating. So they're looking at different kind of ideas, from like a nightclub to more chill lounges. Neither one of them seem to commit to exactly what they're going to build, although we suspect, based on their hints in the article, they'll be open by the end of this year, thinking October, November timeframe. So not quite there yet, but this is the next step in the approval. So all of you guys looking to consume in a lounge, it's coming very soon.
But yeah, I'm kind of surprised these haven't already like rolled out. You know, you think that this would, when they legalized it, that this would have been like a forefront type of thing, opening it up in certain areas. And, you know, we talked about the hotel that's opening up and how they didn't really have anything that you could do in public. You have to do it in your room, which kind of defeats the purpose. Like, you think you'd want to go stay at this hotel, hang out in a bar or lounge or whatever. So I'm surprised it's taken this long to get a couple open, but it's good to see it, you know, because that's going to be a big part of the tourism, I think, going forward.
Yep, the Amsterdam coffee bar experience coming soon, or coffee shop experience coming soon to Las Vegas. So it'll be interesting to see how that all happens. No booze there, so we don't get people too crazy. But this is coming, and it's going to be just 2 to start, 1 up in the north as well. But you'll have quite a few of them, I'm sure, within about 2 years. You'll see them just about everywhere. So they're not going anywhere.
Fun fact, it's not even legal in Amsterdam. That's what's funny.
Now on to pizza, Mark. A happier subject for you. Did you see that $100 pizza at Napoli Pizzeria? The LV Foodie shared this video. And basically, what is it, like a 37-inch pizza or something insane? And you can put 4 different pizza, specialty pizzas within this pizza. I mean, I guess it's just a super large pizza, right? I mean, it's $100. I thought you would know. You're the expert.
It looked like they cut it into 4 huge like slice things. I'm like, I mean, maybe if you got, 10 people to eat this thing, it would be worth it. But like, they need to like cut it into squares almost to be able to pick it up and eat it and share it. And I don't know what they say. It takes like 14 minutes or something crazy, like not very long to cook this thing. I feel like it probably needs to sit in there and bake a little bit more. But funny enough, I shared it on Twitter to Freddie the Pizza Man, who's in the Detroit area and was on like the One Bite and Best Pizza in Michigan and all that stuff. A really great guy. And I'm like, when are we going to see this in your pizza place? He's like, how about never?
Yeah, a little bit gimmicky, but I guess it's the perfect party pizza, right? You just need an extra wide front door to be able to get it through, or else you're gonna have to bring it through the back because, or else you'd have to tip it and then.
Could you imagine trying to get in your Uber? You're like, hey, sir, can you open the trunk? We got to put this pizza in there.
Yeah, so check it out. Credit to LV Foodie for sharing that. And then finally, let's end with this: the Las Vegas Spaceport. That sounds kind of cool, right? There's actually 12 approved spaceports around the United States, I found from this article, but the SEC approved this company to be able to sell stock in building a spaceport, quote unquote, the Las Vegas Spaceport, but it's in Pahrump. So don't get too excited about that. But they say it's going to be for space tourism. It's going to be for education. Sure. They're going to have STEM things. Yeah. And of course, the other tourist aspects of Pahrump may play in here. You can have some fun in Pahrump and then go to space. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love that they're like, in 10 years, you could go to Mars and stay at the hotel. Like, this is, I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, this is like the Simpsons monorail episode, right? Where he's selling stock in this spaceport.
Yeah, I could see like, the flights that go up so you get like zero gravity or something. I could see maybe that being what they launch from here. And, and all that news that's been in the Titanic sub and stuff, I'm going to let people test this out for a good long while before I get my butt in that seat. So what, early adopter, not for this type of stuff. So let's wait a minute. But I mean, it'd be cool. I don't know if it will happen. It feels kind of all net arena-ish, but we shall see. Especially in Pahrump.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, though. Space tourism is a thing of the future, right? It's not for the everyday person. It's going to be expensive for the foreseeable future, but the prices will keep coming down. And it seems like there is this rush to build spaceports or to get the zoning and the approval for spaceports all over the country because, they think this is the next thing. I just think the word spaceport is kind of cool. So Las Vegas Spaceport has a cool, ring to it. But it's in Pahrump, and they're just selling stock. So I guess if you want to invest in it, they're going to be selling that pretty soon.
Coming to an MTM Vegas of of abandoned properties in the near future.
Yeah, there we go.
When you do a walkthrough video.
So let us know what you think about anything we talked about. The $100 pizza, the Las Vegas Spaceport, the abandoned staircase at Mirage, at Green Valley Ranch, all the renovations there. Hit us up in the comments. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. We'll be back in just another couple days with another show. And I'll be back home after 7 weeks on the road. I'm going back to Las Vegas just in time for 100-degree temperatures. Oh, joy there. But I'm excited to be going home. So familiar surroundings on the next episode.
You should have been home the last 7 weeks and now left for 7 weeks and avoided the summer heat wave. But I forgot to look at the pizza place and see what time it's open. But could you imagine if they're like at 2 a.m.? That would be like the most clutch pizza ever.
Yeah, the consumption lounges are going to be ordering that up in spades. So thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
See you on Friday.